No, sir, I do not.
Okay. So we will get back with y'all on the interest on the CDs, where it's going, and if the 39 cents was the actual for them. So then that brings us over to the municipal court tech fund. So this one has cash in the bank. It shows as $3,421.01. You have a certificate of deposit that has $9,133.58 in it. So it gives you a total cash of $12,554.59 is what the figure comes to. So she's carrying over $2,000 because we can spend for upgrades to the court system, also for the upgrades for CopSync to be able to integrate with the court system. So it gives you the court technology fee under the income, which is $2,000. And it's also going to carry over an additional $4,000 for your total expenses of $4,000 potentially for the court technology fund. So just keep in mind that the court technology fund can be used for technology within the court, and it can also be used for technology within the police department to integrate it with the court itself. So Chris, if you see on this one, it specifically says on it that it having almost 12,554 in there, it's showing that we earned an interest of $1.27 for the year. It's showing.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So again, we will double check these in the morning to make sure where the interest is actually going and if that's the actual figures that should be for it. And we will let y'all know that at tomorrow's meeting. But does anybody have any questions specifically on this one itself?
I do not.
Linda?
Not at this time.
Okay. Kevin?
No questions.
No, sir.
Donna?
No questions.
Okay. Rhonda?
No question.
Okay. So that concludes the municipal court tech fee and building security fee. So your next one that you're going to look at is the park special fund. Okay, this one is showing that you have cash in the bank of $6,552.15. They're carrying over cash carryover of $5,000. So as what we have done historically, we've always, and this is totally on behest of y'all to decide, they've always put it under events not budgeted that requires the approval of the council. So that way, if the city decides at some point in time they want to do an event, or if Friends of the Park come in and say that they're having an event going on and the city wants to go in and do something with it, we can use that $5,000 up to that amount or whatever amount that the council wants to set. We've always been able just to use that. So it's totally.
I can barely hear you.
Hey guys, if you can hear me, we need everybody to go to the West Tawakoni meeting right here. Here's the link. Let's make sure that we're all joining in.
Having the possibility of leaving it in an account.
Remember the importance of public participation.
For whatever events do come up.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Chris?
So you got your 65, 552, 15, and your 50, and then your 5,000. Where's the other 15, 52, 15 at?
It's just being left in the account. It's not, we're not carrying it over as saying that we're going to spend it. It's being left in the account as accessible income. or accessible money.
So what if we just left that in there and just took the 5,000 out to where we'd have it to use somewhere else later?
That's why you're putting it under the events not budgeted. The 5,000 is being put in there, so the 1552.15 or the 1,552.15 is what's being left in the account.
And park expenses and all that, that's not where we're gonna look at that. That has nothing to do with this. This is just the special park fund that covers events. There's no maintenance, no park host, no nothing here.
Maintenance and operation of the park come out of general fund.
Oh, the one you wrote last night? Yeah. Did they read it?
No, that's at the end of the meeting.
Hey, my comment didn't show up.
What do you all think?
It's slow, it's really slow.
Kill it.
Huh?
Kill it.
Just kill the 5,000?
That's my opinion. We've got a COVID virus that we can't have any events right now as it is. From the tone of the cover letter that was provided to the council members, we're going to need every cent that we can get just to keep this city afloat. And I vote that we eliminate this 5,000 and put it towards the maintenance and repairs in the park rather than events. At this time,
They're two separate accounts, Linda. We can't move money out of the park special fund to put into the maintenance and operations. This is only.
I get that, but
Are you seeing my comments?
I'm just saying the 5,000 is needed in other places. So we can't have events right now anyway, and no telling when we'll be able to.
Okay, so y'all are wanting this, we're not doing any votes or anything about this right now on a workshop. So you're just wanting the 5,000 taken out of the events not budgeted and just leave it in the account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a suspicious person's not showing through.
So Alan, this is
No,
Kevin.
it's not.
Yes, sir.
So just asking a question here. Is that not something that if need be, could be used for the Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful signs rather than, I mean, I'm looking at this money, if it's going to be used, let's let it be used. But one of my other questions I have is I have shown no information at all on fireworks on this budget that we were given. There's no numbers there. Isn't there something that was firework related? I mean, I'm trying to, I think it was just last year, right?
It was year before last. But yes, the fireworks were supposed to happen again, but they did not come up for this year to be able to try to do them. But to answer your question about the Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful, that's not something that we can use this budgeted line item for. It's only
Okay, so quantify for me what you mean by the year before last. What fiscal year is that?
And that, when was that? It was the
Yeah, so 17.
Not the one that just passed, but the
budget.
previous one.
Because I know it wasn't 17-18, and that's the last time I have any records of numbers is 17-18. I have nothing for 18-19 or 19-20.
So, and the city didn't
So I mean,
put anything in there. The
Okay.
city, yeah, there was no money from the city in that. The money that was raised the last year around with fireworks was strictly donation.
okay,
So there was no budget item, no nothing.
okay. Just wanted to make sure of that because I didn't see any numbers there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will zero out the 5,000 and just keep it in the bank as the 6,552.15. Rhonda, did you have anything that you wanted to ask on the park special fund?
No, I think they answered everything I had.
Okay. So that moves us to the occupancy fund. So occupancy fund specifically is your hotel motel. That's the income that comes from your hotel motels themselves, which you have Wagon Wheel, you have Lake Country Motel, you have Anchor Inn Marina that has your hotel motel that they use. So that's where your money comes from for that. We have cash in the bank of $35,496.13. You're showing cash carryover of $7,700. You have your occupancy tax deposits that they're showing roughly to be $7,300, or a total income of $7,300, which brings your total income and cash carryover of $15,000. You have advertisement that it can be used for that is being budgeted up to $5,000, which your advertisement that you can use that for is stuff that brings people in to the city to stay overnight. And so they have a potentially of an amphitheater for the city park. They're budgeting $10,000 for, which gives your total expenses of $15,000. So we'll open it up for questions. Rhonda, do you have anything?
Not yet.
Okay. Donna?
Yes, we've talked for a while about having an amphitheater in the park. And I think we've all been excited about using the park to be able to bring in visitors and bring in people.
I don't know if y'all can hear Donna, but we can't hear her. She's really broken up. We can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear, Mayor, when you're speaking, but we cannot hear Donna at all, hardly.
Okay, is that better? I lean
A little
forward.
bit, try again.
Speak louder.
Now, that's good.
That was good.
Okay, all right. With COVID going on and the fact that we really cannot be having events in the park, I don't think budgeting that money for an amphitheater right now makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
I agree with you 100%.
We can take that back out.
Forget, I agree too.
I agree. Linda Catler.
I would also like to add to that, as far as the advertising. I'm not sure how we're going to advertise for people to come into our park and stay overnight if we're not budgeting any money for utilities on our expenses. You can't have people stay the night and utilities not get used. So with that being said, at the end of the day, I feel like we take that out. And if people do come in and they pay their dues and they use our electricity, obviously there's going to be money that's put into the account that will pay for it. And there's already money in the account that will pay for it.
Kevin, keep in mind that, again, maintenance and operation of the park is paid for out of general fund. So that's why there is nothing on here for any utilities used. But this is even bringing people in to stay at our hotels and motels, not just in the park.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then we need to learn how to write a budget, and we don't have that line item on our budget, because you don't have a line item on a budget that's blank.
Well, I don't see the purpose in having the 5,000 in there. We've been budgeting it for 3 years now, and we're not doing anything with it. And again, as tight as money is right now, we don't even need to be looking at it there. You know, let's get the city where it needs to be moving forward. Then maybe next year we can start looking at how we're going to advertise it. But $5,000 is going to go a long way somewhere else right now.
I agree with
Okay,
you.
if that's how the council decides they want to do, we can take the 5,000 back out.
I agree with taking that 5,000 out. the advertising that our city can do for businesses, for guests to come in, for people to come and use our hotels, you can get a lot of that for free. And I think we need to toss that back to the EDC again to get that advertising going. The Texas Highways, there's 2 magazines that we have asked for EDC to get our city listed in. They're still not listed. Our Chamber of Commerce out here actually has a spot for our city, and the information in it is wrong. It says we have a 9-hole golf course. We don't, it's an 18-hole golf course. So we've got free advertising that's out there that ought to be occurring without us having to spend money from the taxes to do that.
Okay, so we will zero out the 5,000 and we will also take out the 10,000. Is there any other comments about the occupancy funds?
Not on my end, no, sir.
Okay. So that is going to move us to the USDA.
Mayor, real quick, I do have a question, just to make sure I'm clear on what you said.
Okay,
So taking those monies out of those line items, that's gonna put it back into that account. You're saying that that cannot be used elsewhere within our city, correct?
and only if it is bringing in people to stay in the city overnight. They have to stay overnight within the city to use it.
Okay.
What are you thinking on that?
A pretty
Okay.
good advertising, for me is a safe city. So if we have a safe city, people will come here.
Sure.
So my question to the council and to our attorney, is Jim on here? I don't think I've heard Jim.
No.
Okay,
I don't think
So my
he's on,
question-
no, sir.
okay, so my question is gonna be, I guess, that we need to get answered is advertising can be viewed in a lot of different ways. So when I drive into a town, depending on what that town looks like and the people at the storefronts, what they look like, that's advertisement to me, and it tells me I want to be here or I don't want to be here. Whether you look at it as a billboard sign or what it actually looks like when you drive into the city, it's still advertisement. So my thing is, a safe city is a positive advertisement. So I want to look at personally myself, we look at this $15,000 go to our police department for the 2021 and 2022 budget, our 2020-21 budget. Because that is our biggest area that we have hit our budget in our city.
I will ask that question, but my gut is telling me that they're going to say no, but I will get you the answer and have it tomorrow.
Well, whoever gives you that answer, I want to know who that answer comes from.
Of course.
Yeah, and I have a question along the same line. If the police department can find a way to present a part of their requests in line with advertising a safe city. Or for example, if we decide as a council that we want to keep Officer Scarlett and Officer Oakley, who's a reserve officer, to bring both of them back and continue using both of them as a reserve, then part of the advertising for the city could be the use of that we have a police canine here. So this may be something that, can be presented to Chief Patrick, some way to pull this in as a way for us to advertise the safety of our city, to let people know that our park is safe, to rent tent places that are the different inns and hotels are safe to stay at, and that we have a presence of a police canine and an increase in our police presence for the fishermen and the local tournaments that are coming in.
I can't disagree with you at all, Donna. But the first thing that was in my packet was a cover letter telling me that I was gonna be getting rid of an officer. That's a decrease in my police force, so that's negative advertisement for my city. And if I drive across the bridge, which goes across the water to the east of here, I've got a city that's smaller than me, and they've got 5 paid officers. I'm not okay with that.
But Kevin, understand what we're asking for the mayor and for city administration to do is to find the laws, to massage it so we can use this money for that. We have to still follow the state laws. So this is an occupancy tax money that's coming in, and they've got to be able to put it in a way that the state will allow us to use it.
I completely understand what you're saying. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking, to find out where this money can go in order to make sure that we keep our police force where it's at. We cannot lose police force and expect to gain any kind of headway in our city.
I think I understand a little bit of both. I think you're kind of viewing it not just the occupancy tax fund, but the numbers that we've cut overall in the budget so far.
Exactly.
And I don't think he's specifically addressing only the occupancy tax fund, but Donna, I see your point. That can only be used in certain ways. So the point was trying to be made that if we're going to have to cut in a lot of ways on this budget, but I think what Kevin was trying to say is it our understanding that even though we're cutting in a lot of these areas, that it cannot be used for a different area, with the exception of specifics such as occupancy tax that can only be used for certain things? I believe that's the question in general.
Yes.
I will find out from the powers that be, McElroy, whoever, the state comptroller, whoever we need to talk to tomorrow, and we will find out what we can legally use the occupancy tax for, to be able to see what we can bring in.
One thing to Donna's comment, and I appreciate, Donna, I appreciate you bringing up the reserves, because reserves are very important to a police force. But I can tell you right now, most reserves typically are looking to possibly go to work for a department. Okay, that's the reason why they're doing that. And somebody's not going to come and be a reserve at our department because they're not going to look to come to work here after seeing what we've done to our police force by cutting it. They're going to go somewhere that it looks like the police force is growing, just like a company. Whether everybody wants to think about the City of West Tawakoni as a company or not, we are a company. Okay, we are a business, and that's what we're here tonight looking at. We're looking at this, and we should be looking at it from a business sense, and that's what I'm looking at.
Okay. So that ends the discussion with the occupancy tax. So then that brings us to the USDA construction account. So that has cash in the bank, which is $9.32. We have expenses for the USDA of $60,000, which we transfer that money in from water sewer of $60,000, which comes out as your expense and makes your budget balance of both 60,000 in and 60,000 out. So this is your USDA is the pad. Is this our pad? I believe this is for our wastewater treatment pad, the planning and design of the wastewater treatment plant when the city was looking at upgrading the wastewater treatment plant. Anybody have any questions on this, Rhonda?
Yeah, I was trying to find out which part of this was grant. It's USDA. Is there,
A percentage of it, I believe, is what it was, because this was before I got on the council.
yeah, I just didn't see it designated in here telling me which part may have been grant funds.
Was this the city's max possibly?
I believe it was a 50-50. We had to pay 50% of it, and I believe that 50% of it was the city match, and 50% of it was forgiveness.
Okay, can we verify that, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is what we owe them.
The 60,000, yes. The 60,000 is what Annette is saying that we owe for this coming up year for our portion of the payment, but we will find out what the match and the grant portion of it is.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Kevin, do you have any questions on this one?
I do not.
Chris?
No, I do not. No, sir.
Donna?
No question.
You said no, Donna? I'm sorry.
No questions.
Okay. Right, so that's on the USDA. So the last one is going to be for the PD special funds. So this is what they had at one point in time. Whenever the police department would seize vehicles, they would use the money when they sold on auction the seized vehicles. This would go into the PD special fund. So currently they have cash in the bank of $3,001.11. They're carrying the $3,001.11 over to allow it to be used. They are showing $3 worth of interest for income. They're showing $200 miscellaneous expense, or I'm sorry, miscellaneous income from donations or anything that they might have, which would show $203 as additional income, making it $3,204.11. They're using $400 as ammo expenses, which shows $400 as the total expense, leaving $2,804.11 in the bank. This account is anything that Brandon would like to use to be able to spend for his officers, for new badges, new computers, upgrades to his computers if he looks at it, over vest, anything that he decides he wants to use it for. This is his money to be able to use it. So typically he only uses it for doing ammo for his officers whenever they go to qualify, that type of thing. Rhonda, you have any questions?
So this is a seizure fund.
That's what it was before, yes.
Okay, but I was just curious because it's called PD Special Fund. This generally comes from seizures.
That's what it was beforehand. And then now it's just become a special fund for donations, anything that he has that comes in.
Okay, so seizure money, they went out and they seized weapons, vehicles,
And sold them at auction or something, it would go in there, yes.
cash seizures.
Mhm.
Okay.
Are we?
Donna?
So, Ellen, when I donate $100 for a vest or $50 for the dog, that's usually accounted for as miscellaneous income?
Correct.
Okay, all right, that's where I thought it was going. And so then police department can use it as they see fit.
Right.
Awesome, thank you.
Chris, do you have anything?
Not at this time, no.
Linda?
No further questions.
Kevin,
So are we sure that we can take donations and put into that fund?
Yes.
Because, well, the reason why I'm asking is mainly because I know Rhonda spoke up. Rhonda's probably a lot more versed on a seizure fund than what any of us council members are. And then when I was hearing you talk about it, you were saying it was changed. Well, I mean, you can't, there's not a switch that we can flip just to change something and say that, okay, well, now we've opened up a door by flipping this switch that now we can just put money in here. Now, as far as the police department getting donations, that's fine, but we've got to make sure we're careful and make sure that we know that we can put something like that into a seizure, what would be a special fund or a seizure fund. Because I'm kind of, just from hearing what you said and maybe listening a little bit to what Rhonda said, I don't know that we can do that.
this is something that Annette and Susan hit every 2 years. They have to go to the public funds investment class, which says what they can use different accounts and everything for. And this is one of the things that have been discussed before, because it's been this way since before I even got on the council. They've had this account, and this is what they've used it for: donations and for seizures.
All right, Kevin. this
Okay,
is
well, I
Ron-
was making sure from your comment, you said
Yeah.
it was changed. So that's
Kevin,
what I was trying to figure out.
This is Rhonda. The reason I asked that question is because it just said PD special fund, and I was wanting to make sure that it was in fact a seizure fund. We also, as peace officers, have to take classes to understand how, what we can and cannot put into seizure funds. My curiosity was just the title of it not being titled seizure fund, but was it the same thing? That's what made me ask about it.
And the way you asked kind of sparked my curiosity as well. So that's, I'm trying to make sure I'm gaining knowledge here rather than just passing through things.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Linda, did I ask you, did you have any questions?
Yes, sir, you did ask me, and I said no further questions.
Okay, so that completes this for our workshop on number 4. We have the 3 questions that we will get, Annette or I will get back with y'all tomorrow. We'll send it by an email when we have our questions answered, and we'll also address it during the actual workshop again tomorrow.
Mayor,
yeah.
I had one more. On municipal court, the security fund, we're talking about income for the municipal court. And I forgot it. I'm sorry. I thought I even put me a note here, but I didn't. Somehow I just remembered it. So we have 1,500, or we're budgeting 1,500. And of course it says, we asked the question about the interest, that's fine. But are we saying there was no actual income for the court showing for 19 and 20? Because the 39 cents, we're saying that was from interest.
Right.
But I can't imagine for the life of me that the municipal court didn't bring in any money in 1920 besides 39 cents.
I believe, and we will check on this tomorrow, but I believe we get it towards the end of the actual fiscal year, because it's a portion of the citations that we bring in, that we budget for that.
Well,
but I will put that as another question to answer tomorrow.
Okay, and I understand what you're saying, but we don't have a safe here at the city hall that I know of. So if somebody comes in and pays a citation, that goes to municipal court, correct?
Yes, but the state is the one who sends us that money.
Actually, it's broke out of tickets. A ticket is.
Speak up so they can hear you.
When they write a ticket, and then when the ticket is paid, then Kim does a report, and out of each report, so much of it goes to so many different funds. And
Right, I understand.
And that's basically kind of calculated at the end of the year, and that's how much, he'll give us a report, and that's how much comes out of the general fund of the court and goes to this fund.
So that's where I got that it's at the end of the fiscal year.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Well, and so my question is what do we do with that number in the meantime? Where is it? Is it on a sticky note on a desk somewhere? That's my concern as a council member, and I'm expected to look at a budget, and I'm being told we're going to budget 1,500, but I can look back and see that we've budgeted 4,500. We've hit 8347. There was no actual for 17. I mean, there's some numbers missing here. So I'd like to know what that is and why we're not inputting that as we're going, because I know that the city has to be receiving money. We're in the 8th month of the year, almost to the end of it. I know there's been money put into the city's account from municipal court. There's no possible way I can fathom there hasn't been. Second part of it is, I would like for you to find out, Mayor, if we have any kind of a follow-up process set in place for our court system to follow up on citations and fines to bring more revenue into our city. What is, or do we have a process set in place in order to make sure that we're not just leaving money laying under the table? Again, it's a business.
Okay. We will get those questions answered for you and send it in the email for you. So
Thank you.
that completes number 4 and opens up. We had one citizen that sent over a statement by email to have read. So as we are doing these citizens' inputs, we are not going to be relaying or tolerating any type of profanity, vulgarity, or anything that is going to be read aloud for any of the citizens' comments that are being sent in. So Annette has the one that she is going to read.
Okay, this comment is to be read in its entirety during the citizens input section of the city council meeting held by teleconference on 8/24/2020. Please do your best to inflate the sense of joy and cheerfulness in your voice as you do.
Can you speak up, Annette? We can't hear you.
Maybe move a little closer to the computer.
Proper tone. Greetings, City Council and citizens of West Awake on it. I am Winston Knowles, a former resident and possibly the area's most well-known professional blank. At the last meeting, if the City Council will recall, there was an issue with too many citizens trying to be heard at the same time, and this seemed to have caused quite the stir in council chambers. The police department posted on Facebook that they would be seeking the assistance of the FBI to investigate an alleged hacking of the public meeting. I would like to note that someone had mentioned the city did not have a recording of the video broadcast of the meeting. Have no fear, I have emailed a link to the most honorable and noble police department of West Awake on it to aid in their apprehension of these dangerous criminals. Also, what is the status of the investigation of the complaints and allegations made by citizens during the outburst during that meeting? Also, I was called out by name and publicly ridiculed during the meeting. And to whoever that was, I have no lasting resentment. And in keeping with my religious beliefs, I forgive you. I am so happy that citizens are taking an active interest in the government that most directly impacts their lives, and how great it is to see West Awake on it so open to comments from citizens. It is truly a great day to be an American. That was from Winston Knowles.
Thank you, Annette. So the next one is number 6. Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
Ron made the motion.
Chris Arquette, second.
Okay, Chris seconded. All those in favor, say your name.
Rhonda
Linda
McKeon.
Katner.
Chris Burkett.
Kevin Featherston.
Okay,
Donna Milburn.
thank you. We will see y'all tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
How about now? Oh. I
Yes.
apologize, but I got distracted because I was eating my little wasabi peas off the desk here, and one of them was a little dark colored, but I ate it anyway. And it turns out that that was a piece of coal from my property. So, so yeah, so that was not auto speech. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. She censored your. You know that she censored your speech, right, Otto?
Oh, I'm devastated.
Yeah. Let's just find it here. I know you sent it to me. Why can't I find it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, let's just see here. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Do you mind if I put it up on the screen? Okay. Oh boy. How do I? Oh, thanks. Oh, there we go. This comment, look at right there, the first line, he starts off with the instructions. This comment is to be read in its entirety during citizen input section of the city council meeting held by teleconference on August 24th of 2020. That would be today. Please do your best to inflect a sense of joy and cheerfulness in your voice. She did not inflect a sense of, and this is how she read it. That is cheerfulness and joy. I would hate to see her depressed. Actually, I wouldn't hate to see her depressed. Quite frankly, now that you think about it, I think it would be marvelous to see her depressed. Anyway, so that the mayor's message carries its proper tone. This is how it should have been read. Greetings, City Council and citizens of West Tawakoni. I am Winston Knowles, a former resident and possibly the area's most well-known and professional asshole. At the last meeting, if the council will recall, there was an issue with too many citizens trying to be heard at the same time, and this seemed to have caused quite the stir in the council chambers. The police department posted on Facebook that they would be seeking the assistance of the FBI to investigate an alleged hacking of the public meeting. I would like to note that someone had mentioned the city did not have a recording of the video podcast of the meeting. Have no fear! I have emailed a link to the most honorable and noble police department of West Tawakoni to aid in their apprehension of these dangerous criminals. Also, what is the status of the investigation of the complaints and allegations made by citizens during the outburst during that meeting? Also, I was called out by name and publicly ridiculed during that meeting. And to whoever that was, Rhonda. Sorry. I have no lasting resentment, and in keeping with my religious beliefs, I forgive you. I am so happy that the citizens are taking an active interest in the government that most directly impacts their lives, and how great it is to see West Tawakoni so open to comments from their citizens. It is truly a great day to be an American. Thank you, and happy Fuck the Cops Day, Winston Knowles.
You know what's something else that's interesting?
Well, there you go. She definitely censored that, and that is definitely a First Amendment violation. You should be devastated. Oh, I can't hear you. I'm hearing you through the door, not through the speaker.
Well, that sucks. Anyway, go look at their YouTube page again. There's no videos on it.
They're gone?
The video's gone.
Oh, the video is unavailable. It's a good thing I captured it.
Right? But what's even weird, go to the city.
Oh, wait.
Go to the city.
All those in favor, say your name.
What?
It was processing? No.
No. What the hell?
All those
How bizarre. This channel does not have any. Wait a minute. We posted content there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not good for waste. Awake on it. By the way, how's it going, friends?
It's going, brother. How about you?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's going. I've got a motions
pretty-
hearing tomorrow. I have a trial Thursday and Friday, and I have another bond revocation on Friday.
So trial and a bond.
A trial and a bond revocation, yeah.
Hmm.
So, you know, same old, same old.
Yeah, you know. Hey man, I like Rusty Rock.
Rusty Rock is awesome.
It is.
Isn't it awesome? I should email
And sorry to see that your view. I was glad to see that you got a good picture of the view before all the smoke set in.
Yeah, that smoke was insane.
Dude, it is. It's completely insane. I could only imagine what it's like in Cali.
Oh, it's probably worse in Cali. Yeah, I was surprised to learn how many fires we do suffer every year.
Yeah, it's quite insane.
So I'll fill up. Let me transfer some pictures from my. If you don't mind, if you'd like to see
I
some
don't.
pictures from the land this weekend. Oh wait, I think it was this device. Oh no, it was that one. I took a whole bunch of pictures and some Google waypoints, Google Maps waypoints, so that I could start designing my house.
Jesus Christ, I've been trying to steer this for a while. Okay, so
Oh, hi.
the city of West Tawakoni, I'll
Welcome
put the link in the chat, scheduled a bunch of meetings this week. Presumably just like that one. There's another one tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day. And if you follow this link that I'm posting right now, you can go over there and follow up however you would like. So apparently they have a YouTube page, and it looks like the comments are open, which I think that's a fantastic thing. All right, a lot of cities aren't that brave. That's fantastic. So I don't know. It seems like they need some more webcams. So if there's anybody in town that has some webcams, you could probably call them in the morning. I'm sure they'll be willing to accept them. Right, just as a free donation. You could add it to the donation fund or the civil asset forfeiture fund. Did anybody else catch that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So the donation fund for the police is the same fund as the civil asset forfeiture, which is a fancy word for theft. That's where the police actually charge your property with committing a crime.
Right.
That's how they take your house and your car, or if you're just traveling with a large sum of money and they think that you're going to buy drugs with it, they just take that just because. they
Yeah.
can do it. And then you have to prove your money has to prove that it wasn't drug money. And even after you prove that, then they're just like, oh, my
Well,
bad, my bad.
we've already
Oh,
spent it, so
man,
you're not
it's
getting it back
even
anyway.
worse. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So that was the city of
It's
West
even
Tawakoni.
worse than
That's
that because
West
it's a
Tawakoni,
civil
Texas.
matter, right?
What?
It's a civil matter, not a criminal matter. So the standard is preponderance of the evidence, and the judges basically just rule against the property owner anyway. It's
Right.
like this whole civil asset forfeiture issue is really beginning to come to a nasty, ugly head everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Because there's more stories of, oh, I was going to buy a business, right? Or a car for my so-and-so or whatever. Yeah.
Donald. So Donald Donald Garin asked, why was Eric blocked? We're not sure if he was blocked. It may have just been an account issue.
Oh, yeah, because I used your link, but it went to your stream instead of their stream. So I was commenting the shit out of it on this stream.
Oh,
and it wasn't going to the West
I get
Tawakoni stream. So I think that it was a dumb error. Yeah.
ED4 Action says 39 cents in the account. I think I heard something about that. But it doesn't really matter what the amount is. The bigger the city, the bigger the number. They just add a zero to the end of it. But all it really comes down to is they're spending somebody else's money, right? And mind you that they just signed a contract with the police chief for $250,000, right? And that's over 5 years, of course. But they also have a bunch of other police officers, right? They're even talking about giving them an additional funding, right? And I know that a lot of people don't have the same views as I do about back in the blue and whatnot. But fuck the police, right? Maybe we should start spending a little bit more money on the people instead of spending so much money on the military. And the police are the military. They're just wearing different colored clothes, right? They have the exact same gear made by the exact same motherfucking company. As a matter of fact, their equipment is somewhat more dangerous and also not allowed in warfare, right? So just roll that around while you're thinking about back and forth. This is a very small town. It only has, it doesn't have a whole lot of residents, but there's a highway that goes through it that has a lot of traffic. Right? It's all area. The Awake on it.
Is that why they rent the rooms on a half-hour basis?
Yeah, they were talking about hotels, and there's a very famous hotel area that's known for that type of activity, and everybody knows it. And it's really not that big of a deal, right? But then you hear somebody talking about, I don't remember who it was, but thankfully we have it recorded, right? Whoever it was talking about the image of the city, and when you pull up to a storefront and the type of people that you see outside is an image of your city. What are you talking about right there? We need to clean up the people, huh? Well, it's not too long before somebody starts talking about euthanizing them. It's a kind of a long jump, isn't it? Well, it wasn't very long ago that Denver decided to start doing homeless sweeps as well to clean up the neighborhood for the business. Right, for the businesses downtown, the partnership downtown, the business partnership downtown, right? They need to clean it up for the businesses, right? And this is just a business, isn't it, guys? Right. Mm-hmm. So what they started doing is, doing homeless sweeps, and they started pushing homeless people out of their camps, right, where they were together and mostly out of the way. Right. Well, then they started coming into the downtown, and it caused more of a problem. So they pushed them out of there, and they moved back slightly out more out of town, and they set up another camp. And then a few weeks later, the cops are out there pushing them out of that. Where the fuck do you want them to go? Right. You're spending all this money moving people around, possibly spending a little bit on the people would probably be a good thing. Maybe instead of writing a fucking ticket for somebody not having their grass, you get one of these police officers to go over there and mow it for them, right? But take off all that fucking shit, right? We're tired of seeing all that shit, right? We got enough cops running around writing tickets. Jesus Christ.
We need our neighbors to help with it.
Yeah, well, if you are in, yeah, we do. Yeah, we need get our neighbors to call the police every time their feelings are hurt or every time they think there's something
wish I would,
suspicious
yeah.
because somebody else lives their life in a different way than they do. These motherfuckers. So that's West Tawakoni. It's a complicated story, and if you stick around for a while, we'll probably get to a little top portion of the juiciness that is the turd sandwich of this entire area.
You know,
Um,
that was kind of gross, actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well it's incredibly gross. It's incredibly.
I mean, it
So
looks like they're taking a page right out of fucking Leon Valley. They're starting to anyway.
yeah, well that's what they do, right? You know how long we've been watching Leon Valley, right?
Yeah.
And what do they do?
All a successful program.
Yeah, exactly. That's fantastic. If you want to be a tyrant, that's a good place to start, right?
Right.
Right. That's what I meant by successful program, right? Yeah.
Right.
We need to
Fucking
ask
totally
them if they follow the same path as Leon
Oh.
Valley on their
Well, so this-
expired
you'll notice-
tags.
Oh, about towing people out of their driveway. What the
Yeah.
fuck is wrong with those people, huh?
Uh,
Yeah, your registration is out and your car's in your driveway, so the cops come by and call a tow truck. Fantastic. So is that why they buy those license plate readers to make that easier? Because then what happens to that car, right? What happens to that car? It goes into the donation fund.
Asset forfeiture. Yeah.
No, it's not a forfeiture. It's a donation.
No, it's not even. It's not even a donation. It's just a special. It's a special fund.
Yeah, I think
The special fund. You can spend it on whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Is it you know, and people are okay with that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the police chief, he's going to do a good job and spend it wisely. You know, maybe he is, maybe he's not. But what I can tell you is that I've got a couple of purchase orders for margarita machines. You know what I'm saying? You if you follow me
Mhm.
here, right?
Mhm.
It's not always, you know, the good guys.
Did you get the refills for that margarita machine too?
I'm sure they did. Well, if they didn't, even if they didn't get the refills for it, they just signed a $250,000 contract.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
I mean, shit, you can afford to buy your own liquor, can't you?
no. Hell no.
No.
No, we got to have that special fund for that shit. You kidding me?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm sure if you wear your uniform into the liquor store, they'll give you a discount.
No.
Yeah.
No, you actually got to nowadays you actually got to talk to them about, issues that you found. Right.
Oh, we got to
It's
threaten
not
them a
that
little bit. Huh?
yeah, I mean, well, no, you're not threatening. You're just talking to them, right?
Oh, just talking to them. Yeah, reminding them
Yeah.
that their sign is too tall and that they need paint on the side, and that they got undesirable people sitting out front that they got to run up. Yeah. Hey, you know, I'm a little short on my arrest. Let me take one of these guys out. You know, trespass
Right.
one of them so I can go pat them down real quick.
Yeah,
You know, maybe they got a warrant.
maybe.
Good shit. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back, I guess, tomorrow, since they did to watch another council meeting. I'm still, you know, yeah, I'm looking at a lot of cities that have some interesting stuff on the agendas. So maybe it'll be Tawakoni, maybe it won't. It'll be that city out in Utah. Hey, oh yeah. So we need to end this stream so we can start looking into Kenosha, because I bet that's gonna go shitty.
Yeah,
Oh, you know, yeah, because
huh?
you know,
Yeah.
they didn't listen the first time.
No.
So,
Okay.
funny story about calling these places, just real quick. I had on my video from Rocky Ford, I had a whole bunch of typically supportive comments, and then some people started calling them today to let them know that they had made it onto the internet. And now my comments in the last several hours are filled with blue spag comments. So I'd say that whoever was calling Rocky Ford to tell them about the video, it worked. So if they need to call Kenosha, I'm sure it will work. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if
Am I
they were
just
aware
saying?
that they had riots going on in their city last, so I called to ask them.
Yeah.
They were aware. They were, yes. Yeah, but you know, just to make sure, I didn't want them to have something going on and not be a part of it. Hey, you know why police officers are always the first ones to protest?
Why?
To beat the crowds.
Oh, I should've
Okay.
put
On
that in
that
the
note,
chat.
fucking the police.